Welcome to Rich Tribe. Are you tired of that earn more, spend more treadmill? Well, today, we're doing more than just talking about real estate. We are cracking open the 4 hidden engines that can turn a simple property into a powerful machine for your financial freedom.
And the goal here isn't to just quit and do nothing. It's really about putting yourself in a position where work becomes a choice, something you do because you love it, not because you're forced to.
All right, let's dive right in. Here's the journey we're going on today. First, we're going to define the dream, what financial freedom really is. Then, we'll look under the hood at the 4 wealth engines that actually power this thing. After that, we'll map out your path to investing, show you how to start smart, and then we'll get real about the risks and the rewards. You ready? Let's get into it. So, first up, let's define our destination, right? What are we aiming for? It's a life that's lived completely on your own terms. Most people are on a pretty standard path, right? They're tied to jobs that, let's be honest, might not really fulfill them. But what if there was another way? Real estate gives you this incredibly powerful tool to build a totally different kind of life, one that's all about freedom. But that brings up the big question. How does just owning a property actually get you there? From the outside, it can seem super complicated, but it's way simpler than you think once you get the core principles.
Yeah, this isn't some kind of magic trick. It's all about understanding 4 core principles that make real estate such a powerful way to build wealth. We like to call them the 4 wealth engines.
Okay, the first engine, and you could argue this is the most important one for passive income, is cash flow. This is that regular, predictable income that just hits your bank account month after month.
So the bottom line is, it's the profit that you get to pocket every single month. It's as simple as this. You take your total rental income, you subtract all your expenses, and what's left over, that's your cash flow. This is the engine that can start covering your living expenses one property at a time. Next up, engine number 2, appreciation. This is how your asset grows in value over the long haul without you really having to do much at all. Just think of it like your wealth is quietly building in the background while your cash flow is paying all the bills. A property you buy for, say, $200,000 today could easily be worth $300,000 in just a few years. That's all thanks to appreciation.
Now, the third engine is leverage. Okay, this is the one that truly ignites your returns. This is what lets you control a huge, expensive asset with just a relatively small amount of your own money.
Okay, that is a totally fair point, and it's a question we have to tackle. Isn't leverage just a nice-sounding word for taking on a mountain of debt? I mean, we're all taught that debt is bad, right?
And yes, it is debt, but it's strategic debt. Think of it like this. Personal debt, like a credit card, is like a leak in your financial bucket. It's just draining your wealth. But strategic debt, like a mortgage on a rental property that's making you money, that's like a hose filling your bucket. You're using it to buy an asset that's generating income and growing in value. And that leads us perfectly to our final engine, equity. This is the part of the property you actually own. Every single mortgage payment your tenant makes increases your equity, building your net worth piece by piece.
So you've got the 4 engines, right? But which vehicle are you going to choose? Because there's no single right way to invest here. The whole key is finding the method that works best for your goals, your money, and honestly, your personality. Now, your first decision is a big one. How involved do you actually want to be? This is the core difference between active and passive investing. Are you a hands-on person? Do you want to be in the driver's seat managing properties, becoming an expert in a specific niche? If so, that's active investing. Or would you rather be a passenger, just enjoying the ride while someone else does all the driving? That's passive investing, where you put your money into things like syndicates or REITs that are managed by experts. There is no wrong answer here, just what's right for you.
So for somebody who's just starting out, what's the most common path? Well, research shows that a whopping 42% of beginners start with REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. It's a super popular entry point because it's a lot like buying a stock. You can invest with a pretty small amount of money and get instant diversification across a huge portfolio of properties. It's a great way to dip your toes in the water without having to jump in the deep end.
But what if you want to be a little more hands-on without buying a giant portfolio? Well, there are some really clever strategies for that. One of the most popular is called house hacking. The idea is you buy a small multi-unit property, you live in one of the units, and you rent out the others. Your tenants are literally helping you pay off your mortgage and build your equity. In some cases, you can even live for free. It's an amazing strategy.
And for those of you who are ready to scale, there's a really powerful strategy that lets you use the bank's money to build your portfolio. It's called the BRRRR method. You buy a distressed property, you rehab it to force that appreciation, you rent it out, Then you refinance to pull your capital back out, and then, and this is the magic part, you repeat the whole process on a new property. It's like a wealth-building loop that lets you acquire multiple properties using the same initial investment over and over again.
Okay, now that you have a few blueprints to think about, we're going to dive into the key principles for a strong start. But before we do that, if you're finding this blueprint helpful, just take a quick second to subscribe to the Rich Tribe channel, like this video, and maybe share it with someone who needs a path to their own financial freedom. Your support really helps us create more content just like this. All right, let's talk about how to start smart. You see, success in real estate isn't about getting lucky. It's about following a proven plan. First, you have to educate yourself. Read the books, listen to the podcasts, find mentors. The more you know, the less you'll fear. Second, do your homework on the market. Not all locations are created equal. You've got to understand local trends, job growth, rental demand. Third, and this one is huge, get your financing lined up before you even start looking for deals. And finally, start small. Your first deal is your real education. Learn the ropes, make your mistakes on a smaller scale, and then use your profits to grow.
Now, that's all good in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Okay, let's say your goal is to generate an extra $1,200 a month in passive income. I mean, that can be a car payment, all your groceries, or a mini vacation every single month. If you could get a 10% annual return, which is very achievable in real estate, you'd need about $144,000 invested. And yeah, that might sound like a big number, but with the power of leverage and appreciation, it is way more attainable than you might think.
And that right there just brilliantly illustrates the power of setting a really clear target. But, it's not without its challenges. We have to be realistic and talk about how you navigate the risks.
Investing is a serious commitment, and it's definitely not without its hurdles. The number one biggest challenge for new investors is often property management. But that's a problem you can solve by hiring a great property manager. The second biggest, securing financing. But that's a problem you can solve by getting your own finances in order and building relationships with lenders. And yeah, of course there are hidden costs, but you can plan for those with a healthy cash reserve. The point is, every single risk in real estate has a strategy to mitigate it. It's not about avoiding risk, it's about managing it smartly.
And honestly, navigating these challenges, that's what separates the successful investors from everyone else. It takes planning, it takes education, and it takes a long-term mindset. Which really leaves us with one final question for you. Most people are just going to follow the average path, content to stay on that treadmill. But knowing what you know now, what's the first small step you will take to build an extraordinary life?